Hello, curious souls, quiet hearts, and the ones who still believe. I'm Luma. Get comfortable, but keep your eyes open, because
it's time for the story.
Whispers of the Banana Grove. Inspired by Adeem. They always warned us not to walk alone after dark in the village, especially near the banana trees, and especially if you're a man. But warnings become background noise when you've heard them your whole life. Just old superstitions, people say. Something the elders used to keep kids from wandering off. My cousin Harris used to laugh them off. Even growing up in a tiny kampung on the edge of the Malaysian rainforest, he never took ghost stories seriously. He'd roll his eyes when our grandmother spoke about the Pontianak, a vengeful spirit of a woman who died during childbirth. According to legend, she haunts banana trees, lures men with her beauty and scent, and tears them apart. To Harris, it was all fairy tales, until the night that changed everything. It was deep into Ramadan a few years ago. We'd both returned home for the holidays. Nights were long and heavy with prayer, quiet reflection, and stories. Harris had stayed up late helping a neighbour fix their old motorbike. The engine kept stalling, so they worked past midnight. By the time he was done, it was well after 2 a.m. Instead of walking the main road, Harris decided to take the shortcut, something he'd done 100 times. A narrow dirt path that cuts through a banana grove behind the houses. The trees lean in from both sides, their broad leaves rustling like whispers. The villagers say that place belongs to her. No one goes there after dark. But Harris wasn't scared of bedtime stories. He told me afterward that something felt off the moment he stepped onto the trail. The air grew thick and still. Not a single chirp from the crickets. No rustling of leaves. Even the dogs in the distance had gone silent. Then came the smell. Frangipani. Sweet, floral, almost intoxicating. But there was something off about it, like it had been left too long in stagnant water. The smell clung to him, smothered him, and then came the sound. A giggle. Not playful, not innocent. Sharp, high-pitched, like glass scraping together. He froze, spun around with his flashlight. Nothing but shadows between the trees. He told himself it was the wind, tried to keep walking, but the air had changed. It wasn't just quiet, it was dead. Then she whispered his name.
Harris.
Right behind him, breath cold and moist against his neck. He bolted. Branches clawed at him as he ran. The flashlight beam shook wildly. That giggle, it followed him, grew louder, mocking. Every time he turned, there was nothing, but he could feel her, hear her. The leaves shifted with no wind. His name whispered again. Closer, closer. When Harris burst into the house, drenched in sweat and mud, he looked like he'd seen death. His eyes were wild. He slammed the door and locked every window. We thought he'd been attacked, maybe mugged. But when I sat beside him, he grabbed my arm so tightly it hurt. She followed me, he whispered. I didn't believe it, but she's real. She's real, and she's angry. I wanted to laugh. I really did. But then I saw the scratches on his neck, thin, parallel lines, like fingernails. That night was just the beginning. Harris didn't sleep for the next few nights. He'd wake up screaming, clutching his chest. Said he felt something sitting on him, pressing the air out of his lungs. He stopped eating. Shadows under his eyes deepened. He jumped at every sound. Then came the sightings. He started seeing her, in the window, across the street, behind him in mirrors. Once, standing by the banana tree in our backyard, her hair long and wet, her face a pale blur, but her smile stretched too wide, red and wrong. We called her Bomo. He didn't even let us explain. He stared at Harris, silent. Then he walked to the banana tree by the back fence and pointed. "She's here," he said. "You brought her." We cut the tree down the next morning, burned the remains, but it didn't help. The 7th night, Harris vanished. We woke up to an open back door. His slippers were neatly placed outside. His phone was still charging on the table. No signs of struggle, no note. We searched the village, combed the forest. On the 4th day, a neighbor's dog started barking furiously near the edge of the ravine by the old banana grove. That's where we found him, or what was left of him. His body was half submerged in the undergrowth, like it had been dropped there. No wounds, no blood, but his mouth was frozen in a scream. His eyes stared up, lifeless but wide with terror. The coroner couldn't explain the cause of death, but I saw something on his face. Near his ear, a smear of red, lipstick, and that smell again. Frangipani. The scent haunted our house for days after. Rooms that had never smelled of anything now felt heavy with that sickly sweet perfume. My aunt left the windows open day and night. My uncle refused to speak of Harris. We moved soon after. I don't walk alone at night anymore. I avoid banana trees, even in daylight. And sometimes, when the night is still, and the air is thick, and that scent returns like a ghost, I wonder if she's still looking for someone, and I pray it isn't me. We hope you enjoyed the story. To submit your own story, email us at the email on screen. You can also find this in the description. See you next time.